welcome to Say Less I Love You. Are you ready for some twisty fun? Let's meet our cast.
Hi, I'm Jacob Stone, CEO of Stone Hospital Group.
And I'm Nyla Thomas, the best nurse this hospital has ever seen.
Or so she'd like to think. I'm Lori, her best friend.
The name's Derek Radcliffe. I'm Jacob's incredibly handsome lawyer.
Hilda Stone, Jacob's mother.
Hey there, I'm Trixa, Jacob's first love.
Emphasis on first. Anyway, we're the cast of Say Less I Love You, Tyla Walker's brand new serial.
And now, let's start the show.
Chapter 69. Jacob. I lean over the table, my eyes scanning the sea of documents spread before us. We've been working all night. I look at the clock. It's morning now, apparently. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, casting a harsh glow on the papers that hold the key to our future. Derek stands beside me, his brow furrowed in concentration. We have several people also seated in the war room, looking over documents and on their laptops, cross-referencing in hushed whispers on the phone. "Any luck?" I ask, my voice tight with tension. Derek shakes his head. "Nothing concrete yet, but we're getting closer, I can feel it." I run a hand through my hair, frustration bubbling up inside me. Derek picks up a file, flipping through it. "Whoever owns this component, they're sitting on a gold mine." I nod, the weight of the situation pressing down on me. And they could crush us if they wanted to. Or become instant billionaires, Derek adds, his tone grim. I pause, a thought occurring to me. What if they don't know? Derek looks up, intrigued. "Don't know what?" "That we've started clinical trials," I explain, my mind racing. "If they're unaware of our progress..." "We might have a slim advantage," Derek finishes, catching on. "Keep Neuromax under wraps. Let them think it's just unmonetized research." I nod, a glimmer of hope sparking in my chest. Exactly. It's our best shot at avoiding a costly battle. Derek sets down the file, his eyes meeting mine. It's risky, but it might be our only play. I take a deep breath, the weight of the decision settling on my shoulders. Then that's what we'll do. We need to find this owner before they find us. I stare at the documents, my eyes burning from hours of scrutiny. The fluorescent lights hum overhead, casting harsh shadows across the conference room. Suddenly, a name catches my eye. "Derek, look at this," I say, sliding a paper towards him, my heart pounding with anticipation. Swan LLC. It keeps popping up on key dates. It's like a goddamn pattern we've been missing. Derek leans in, his brow furrowing as he studies the document. "Swan? As in Marcus Swan?" His voice drops to a whisper, like he's afraid to even say the name out loud. "Exactly." I tap the paper forcefully, my mind racing at 1,000,000 miles an hour. What if this subsidiary is the missing piece we've been searching for? It's too much of a coincidence to ignore. Derek's eyes widen, and I can practically see the gears turning in his head. Holy damn. You think Marcus could be behind this whole mess? "It's definitely worth investigating," I reply, my jaw clenching. We'd be idiots not to follow this lead. I turn to the team, my voice sharp and commanding. "I want you to dig into Swan LLC like your lives depend on it. Get me everything you can find on their patents, their financials, hell, even what they had for breakfast this morning. Leave no stone unturned." The room suddenly buzzes with renewed energy, like someone flipped a switch. People start furiously typing, making calls, shuffling through papers. Within minutes, a junior analyst calls out, her voice trembling with excitement. "Mr. Stone, I've got something. You're not gonna believe this." I hurry over, my heart pounding. On the screen, a patent filing stares back at me. The missing component of Neuromax. "Son of a bitch," I mutter, anger rising in my chest. He's been sabotaging us this whole time. Derek appears at my side. "Jacob, if this is true, it means Marcus has been playing us all along." I clench my fists, the pieces falling into place. He let Neuromax fail so he could swoop in with his own version. "What are you going to do?" Derek asks, his voice tense. I straighten up, rage coursing through my veins like liquid fire. My jaw clenches so hard I can hear my teeth grinding. "I'm going to have a little chat with Marcus Swan," I spit out, each word dripping with venom. As I stride towards the door, my footsteps echoing my fury, Derek calls out behind me, "Jacob, wait! We need a plan!" But I'm already gone, my mind set on one thing and one thing only: confrontation. The hallway blurs as I storm through it, my fists balled at my sides. Marcus Swan has some serious explaining to do, and I'll be damned if I let that smug bastard get away with this. He thinks he can play me? He's about to learn just how wrong he is.
Chapter 70. Nyla. I wake up with a jolt, my heart racing with a mix of excitement and apprehension. The events of yesterday flood back into my mind. Marcus Swan, my biological father. It still feels surreal. Sunlight streams through the curtains as I stretch and sit up in bed. For the first time in what feels like forever, a glimmer of hope flickers inside me. Despite the mess with Jacob and Trixa, knowing the truth about my parentage has given me a strange sense of clarity. I grab my phone, half expecting to see a message from Marcus canceling our meeting. Nothing. It's really happening. As I get ready, my mind wanders to our conversation yesterday. Marcus's words echo in my head. "I've always taken care of you from a distance, waiting for the right time to tell you the truth." I pause, toothbrush in hand, staring at my reflection. How much of my life has he been watching? The thought sends a shiver down my spine. The sun streaming through my curtains seems brighter, more promising. As I slip into my workout clothes, I can't help but grin at my reflection. "Look at you, Nyla," I mutter to myself. Finally catching a break. My phone buzzes as I finish my morning stretch. It's the hospital. I take a deep breath and answer. "Hey, Grace, listen, I can't make it in today. Got an important meeting with my father." The word feels foreign on my tongue, but I savor it. "Your father?" Grace's surprise is evident. "Is everything okay?" "Long story. I'll fill you in later, okay?" After hanging up, I treat myself to breakfast at my favorite diner. The rich aroma of coffee fills my nostrils as I settle into a booth. Well, look who's splurging," Marge, the waitress, teases as she approaches. I grin. "Sometimes you gotta live a little, right?" "Amen to that, honey. What'll it be?" "I'll have the works. And that fancy coffee you're always trying to push on me?" Marge raises an eyebrow, her wrinkled face a mix of curiosity and amusement. "Someone hit the jackpot? Or did you finally win that scratch-off I've been telling you to play?" I laugh, the sound surprising even me. It's been a while since I've felt this light. "Something like that. Let's just say life's full of surprises." As I savor my breakfast, each bite a little taste of luxury, my eyes land on the nail salon across the street. The neon open sign blinks invitingly. On impulse, I decide to go for it. Why not? I've got a wealthy father now. Might as well look the part, right? I finish my coffee, leaving Marge a generous tip, and step out into the crisp morning air. The bell chimes as I enter the salon, a sweet tinkling sound that matches my mood. The scent of acetone and lavender hits me, and I breathe it in deeply. "Welcome. What can we do for you today?" A cheerful voice greets me, the petite receptionist beaming from behind her desk. I'm about to respond when my phone rings. Unknown number, probably Marcus confirming our meeting. My stomach does a little flip as I fish the device out of my purse. "Hello," I answer, anticipation bubbling in my chest. I can feel the receptionist's curious gaze on me as I turn slightly away for privacy. Is this Nyla Thomas? An unfamiliar voice asks. It's crisp and professional, not at all what I expected. Yes, this is she. I try to keep my voice steady, but my fingers tighten around the phone. I'm calling to inform you about your scheduled meeting with Marcus Swan. The voice continues, and I can practically feel my heart trying to leap out of my chest. My heart skips a beat. Yes? I prompt, desperate for more information. 1,000 possibilities race through my mind. Has he changed his mind, rescheduled, or worse, canceled altogether? I regret to inform you that shortly after Jacob Stone visited him last night, Mr. Swan suffered a second heart attack. He didn't make it. The world around me blurs, colors smearing like a watercolor painting left out in the rain. My ears start ringing, drowning out everything else. The phone slips from my suddenly numb fingers, clattering to the floor with a sound that seems impossibly loud in the quiet salon. Miss, are you all right? The salon attendant's voice sounds distant, muffled like I'm underwater, and she's calling from the surface. I can barely make out her concerned face through my tunneling vision. I can't breathe, can't think. My chest constricts painfully, each breath a struggle. The one chance I had at answers, at family, gone in an instant. Marcus Swan, the man who might have been able to tell me about my past, about my birth parents, is just gone. And with him, a piece of my hope dies too. I feel myself swaying, my knees threatening to give out as the full weight of this loss crashes over me like a tidal wave. Miss? I stumble backwards, my legs shaking beneath me until my back slams against the door. The bell chimes again, its cheerful tinkle a stark contrast to the chaos in my head. My fingers scrabble desperately at the handle, slipping once, twice, before I finally manage to grip it. I need to get out of here, away from the pitying stares and concerned murmurs. The door flies open and I practically fall outside. The sunny day that greeted me earlier now feels like a cruel, mocking joke. The brightness hurts my eyes, and I squint against it as I lean heavily against the building's rough brick exterior. My chest heaves as I gasp for air, each breath feeling like it's being squeezed through a straw. The reality of it all crashes over me in waves. Marcus is gone. My father, the man I never knew, the connection I'd hoped would fill the aching void in my life, is gone. Just like that, in the blink of an eye, before I even had the chance to hear his voice, to see his face, to ask him why.
Chapter 71. Jacob. I step into Marcus's suite, my mind racing with questions about Neuromax and the missing component. The sight of Nyla sitting there, eyes red-rimmed and posture slumped, stops me in my tracks. What the hell is she doing here? Nyla? I ask, unable to hide my surprise. She looks up, her expression a mix of grief and confusion. Jacob? I didn't expect to see you here. What are you doing here? I ask. Why are you here? You didn't get the phone call? She asks me. I shake my head. I've been in a war room for God knows how long, realizing that Marcus was playing us. What's going on? I ask. Marcus is dead, Nyla says. He had another heart attack. All of a sudden, I feel like I've been punched in the gut. What? I ask. She nods. Nyla wipes her eyes with the back of her hand. We'd only just connected. He was going to explain everything to me today. My brow furrows. Connected? What do you mean? She takes a deep breath. Marcus and I, he'd taken me under his wing recently. There was so much he wanted to tell me. I feel a pang of guilt, wondering if my confrontation with Marcus last night had anything to do with his sudden death. I push the thought aside, focusing on Nyla. I'm so sorry, Nyla. I had no idea you two were close. She looks at me, her eyes searching. Why are you here, Jacob? I hesitate, knowing I can't reveal the truth about Neuromax. Marcus is a board member, and Trix's father. I was coming to see him on hospital business. Nyla nods slowly, but I can see the doubt in her eyes. Right. Of course. The tension between us is palpable, thick with unspoken words and lingering emotions. I want to comfort her, to pull her into my arms and tell her everything will be okay. But I can't. Not anymore. As I stand there grappling with the weight of Nyla's presence and the news of Marcus's death, a doctor emerges from the room. His face is grave, his white coat pristine against the somber atmosphere. Doctor, I ask, can you give us any more information on his death? Mr. Swan died from an acute myocardial infarction overnight, he responds, his voice low and professional. Preliminary scans indicate a heightened level of cortisol in his system. He probably had a sudden shock of stress. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stumble back, steadying myself against the wall. What? But I thought he was recovering. The doctor's eyes fix on me. Sometimes these things sneak up on us, Mr. Stone. I nod, my throat tight. We have some business that's not yet concluded, I say. Nyla's gaze bores into me, her eyes widening. Jacob, what does it matter now that he's dead? I run a hand through my hair, guilt gnawing at my insides. It makes all the difference, Nyla. I never thought... Christ, I never imagined this would happen. The doctor clears his throat. The body has been taken away for further examination. I should inform you that Mr. Swan left explicit instructions that no one is to view his body after death. What? Nyla exclaims, her voice cracking. But I need to say goodbye. I reach out instinctively to comfort her, but stop myself. Is there no way to make an exception? The doctor shakes his head firmly. I'm afraid not. Mr. Swan was very clear about his wishes. As the reality of the situation sinks in, I can't shake the feeling that something's off. Marcus's sudden death, the convenient timing, the strange instructions. It all seems too neat, too convenient. But with Nyla here, devastated and vulnerable, I can't voice my suspicions. Not yet. Besides, there is something worse I have to do now. I have to go home and tell Trixa that her father is dead. You think you can catch me? You think you can tame me?
Oh, I know I can. And you know it too, baby.
I gotta tell you, you're not the first to try.
But don't worry, baby. I'll be the last.
With sass like that, maybe I'll be the one that needs to tame you.
Let's cut to the chase, big boy. What you selling me?
Your appetite is big AF. I have just the thing that'll satisfy you.
Oh, really? And what's that?
Over 120 hours of romance audiobooks. Brought to you by Tyla Walker Romances in the Big AF audio bundle.
120 hours? That sounds amazing.
Your knees won't work afterwards if I do my job right.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Well, I can keep this promise. Because these audiobooks are unabridged with all the spicy scenes that will make you put your earbuds on. You know, Tyla can get freaky because she marked the bundle down by 69% for a limited time.
I can't wait to take this bundle for a ride.
Visit TylaWalker.com and get this audio bundle. Just don't start listening if you're going to be cooking dinner. Because you might just forget to feed your family.
TylaWalker.com. Escape your life with Tyla.
Chapter 72. Trixa. I'm lounging on Jacob's plush sofa, flipping through a glossy wedding magazine. The sunlight streaming through the floor-to-ceiling windows catches on my diamond engagement ring, sending sparkles dancing across the pages. I can't help but smile, imagining our perfect life together. Darling, I call out to my friend Olivia, who's perched on an armchair nearby. What do you think about Dalton for our future kids? It's where all the right people send their children. Olivia nods approvingly. Excellent choice, Trixa, though you might want to put them on the waiting list now. I laugh, waving my hand dismissively. Please, with our connections, they'll make room. My mind wanders to our future home. I'm thinking we should look for a place on Park Avenue, maybe in the 70s. Close enough to Central Park for weekend strolls, but not too far from the social scene. Sounds divine, Olivia agrees. And you'll have to completely redecorate, of course. Jacob's bachelor pad won't do for a power couple like you two. I'm about to launch into my vision for our new home when I hear the front door open. Jacob walks in, his face uncharacteristically serious. The smile slips from my face as I take in his tense posture. Jacob? What's wrong? I ask, sitting up straighter. He runs a hand through his hair, a gesture I've come to recognize as a sign of stress. Trixia, I need to talk to you, alone. Olivia takes the hint and quickly gathers her things. I'll call you later, Trix, she says, squeezing my shoulder as she leaves. Once we're alone, Jacob sits beside me on the sofa, taking my hands in his. The gesture, usually comforting, now fills me with dread. What's going on? I demand, my heart racing. You're scaring me. Jacob takes a deep breath. It's about your father, Trixia. I was working overnight and went to see him, and I've been informed that he died. The world seems to tilt on its axis. What? No, that's impossible. I just saw him yesterday. He was fine. I'm so sorry, Trixia, Jacob says, pulling me into his arms as the reality of his words crashes over me. He had another heart attack last night. I cling to Jacob, my mind reeling. My father gone? It can't be true. But as Jacob holds me, murmuring words of comfort, the truth sinks in, and I begin to sob, our perfect future suddenly seeming very far away. My fingers dig into Jacob's shirt as I struggle to breathe through the tears. The scent of his cologne, usually so comforting, now mingles with the bitter taste of loss in my mouth. I want to scream, to deny it all, but the words won't come. Instead, I hear myself making these pathetic, choked noises that I barely recognize as my own. Shh, I've got you, Jacob whispers, his strong arms tightening around me. His hand strokes my hair, and for a moment, I let myself believe that if I just hold on tight enough, this nightmare will end. But it doesn't. The world keeps spinning, cruelly indifferent to the fact that my father, my rock, my safety net, is gone forever. The words crash over me like a tidal wave, threatening to drown me. My father... gone? It can't be real. I grip Jacob's arms, searching his face for any sign that this is some cruel joke. No, I choke out, my voice barely above a whisper. You're wrong. He can't be. But the sorrow in Jacob's eyes tells me it's true. My legs give out, and I crumple to the floor, dragging Jacob down with me. He was everything to me, I sob, my carefully constructed facade crumbling. You don't understand. Before Marcus, it was just me and Mom scraping by. We had nothing. Jacob's strong arms wrap around me, but I'm numb to his touch. The memories come crashing in, a tidal wave of emotions I can't control. My breath hitches as I try to speak through the sobs. He was like God. He was better than any fairy tale prince, Jacob. Marcus swept in and changed everything for us. We finally had stability, real security. And when Mom died? My voice breaks and I have to pause, swallowing hard against the lump in my throat. He became my entire world, my rock. He taught me everything I needed to know, how to navigate this cutthroat society, how to hold my head high even when the vultures were circling. He made me who I am. I force myself to look up at Jacob, my vision swimming with unshed tears. My mascara's probably a mess, but I can't bring myself to care. How the hell am I supposed to do this without him? He was everything. My father, my mentor, my best friend. I'm not ready for this, Jacob. I can't do this alone. Jacob's thumb gently wipes away a tear. Trixia, I'm so sorry. I had no idea how close you two were. He was more than just my stepfather, I whisper. He was my rock, my compass. God, Jacob, what am I going to do? The pain in my chest is unbearable, like someone's reached in and ripped out my heart. I curl into myself, rocking back and forth as sobs rack my body. Jacob's voice is soft, hesitant, like he's walking on eggshells. Trixia, maybe we should wait on the wedding. Give ourselves time to process this, to sort things out. I think that's what Marcus would want. I freeze, my breath catching in my throat. Looking up at him through tear-soaked lashes, I search his face for any sign that he's joking, but all I see is concern etched into his features. "You really think so?" I ask, my voice barely above a whisper. My heart races, a mix of grief and panic swirling in my chest. The thought of postponing the wedding, the one thing I've been clinging to in this storm of emotions, makes me feel like I'm losing my footing all over again. He nods, squeezing my hand. He'd want us to be sure to have clear heads. We can take our time, honor his memory properly. The idea of postponing the wedding, of facing a future without Marcus's guidance, sends a fresh wave of grief crashing over me. But deep down, I know Jacob's right. "Okay," I whisper, my voice trembling. "We'll wait for Marcus."
Chapter 73. Nyla, the crisp autumn air nips at my skin, but I barely notice. My mind's a whirlwind of emotions, each thought more painful than the last. I'd finally found my father, only to lose him in the blink of an eye. The unfairness of it all threatens to overwhelm me, crushing my chest with each ragged breath I take. Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to remember the life of a great man. The priest's words fade into the background as I struggle to focus. My mind's a jumble of memories and regrets, each one stabbing at my heart like tiny daggers. I clutch the folded program in my hand, my knuckles turning white from the pressure. The words on the paper blur as tears threaten to spill over. How cruel is fate to give me this brief moment of connection, only to snatch it away so quickly. I want to scream, to rage against the universe for its twisted sense of humor. But instead, I stand here, frozen in place, surrounded by strangers who couldn't possibly understand the depth of my pain. The minister's voice drones on, but I can't focus on the words. My thoughts keep drifting to the few precious memories I have of my father, his warm smile, the way his eyes crinkled when he laughed, the comforting rumble of his voice. Now those memories are all I have left, and they feel woefully inadequate in the face of this gaping void in my life. I catch sight of Jacob across the crowd, his face a mask of solemnity. My stomach churns. Did he have something to do with Marcus's death? The suspicion gnaws at me, refusing to let go. I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this tragedy than meets the eye. His eyes lock with mine for a brief moment, and I quickly look away, unable to bear the intensity of his gaze. Questions swirl in my mind, each one more unsettling than the last. How did we end up here? And more importantly, what am I going to do now? I watch as Tyla takes a shaky step forward, her hands trembling as she clutches a piece of paper. She opens her mouth to speak, and I can see the effort it takes her to form the words. "Marcus was more than just my stepfather," she begins, her voice cracking with emotion. "He was my rock, my guiding light." Her words catch in her throat, and I feel a lump forming in my own. Damn it, I didn't want to cry here. I bite the inside of my cheek, trying to hold back the tears that threaten to spill over. Trixa's pain is palpable, filling the air around us like a thick fog. I shift uncomfortably in my seat, fighting the urge to look away from her raw grief. This whole situation is so messed up, and being here, surrounded by all this sorrow, is making my skin crawl. I take a deep breath, willing myself to stay strong, to not let my emotions get the best of me. But as Tyla continues to struggle through her eulogy, I can feel my resolve weakening with each passing second. I tune out again, lost in my own grief. The closed casket looms before us, a stark reminder of Marcus's final, peculiar request. Whispers ripple through the crowd, a constant buzz of speculation that grates on my nerves. "Bit odd, isn't it?" an elderly woman mutters nearby, her voice carrying more than she probably intended. "Not even letting us say a proper goodbye." "Marcus always was eccentric," Her companion replies with a shrug. I resist the urge to turn around and tell them to shut up. They didn't know him like I did. They had no right to judge. As the ceremony concludes, people begin to disperse. I stand rooted to the spot, unsure of what to do next. My legs feel like lead, unwilling to carry me away from this nightmare. A tap on my shoulder startles me from my reverie, making me jump slightly. I take a deep breath, steeling myself to face whoever it is. I turn to find a young man in an impeccable suit, his piercing green eyes fixed on me. Nyla Thomas? He inquires, his voice low and professional. I nod, unable to find my voice. I'm Kevin Shaw, Mr. Swan's attorney. He continues. You were mentioned in his will. We need to discuss the details. Are you available tomorrow afternoon? My heart skips a beat. Yes, of course. I manage to stammer out. Kevin hands me a crisp business card. Excellent. My office, 2 p.m. sharp. As he walks away, I stare at the card, its embossed lettering swimming before my eyes. What could Marcus have possibly left me? We'd only just connected, and now? Nyla, Lori's voice cuts through my thoughts. You okay? I turn to face my friend, forcing a weak smile. I'm glad I brought her along today. I don't have anyone here amongst these people. Lori was my support. Yeah, I'm fine. Lori raises an eyebrow. Nonsense. Who was that guy? Marcus's lawyer. I reply, still struggling to process it all. Apparently, I'm mentioned in the will. Lori's eyes widen. Holy damn, what do you think it means? I shrug, feeling suddenly exhausted. No clue. I guess I'll find out tomorrow. Want me to come with? Lori offers, squeezing my arm gently. I consider it for a moment, then shake my head. Thanks, but I think I need to do this alone. As we walk towards the parking lot, I spot Jacob in the distance, deep in conversation with Trixie. My stomach twists, a mix of anger and longing washing over me. You know, Lori says, following my gaze, you could always skip town, start fresh somewhere else. I laugh, but it comes out hollow. And leave all this drama behind? Where's the fun in that? Lori snorts. Right, because funeral surprises and billionaire exes are just a typical Tuesday for you. As we reach my car, I turn to Lori, suddenly serious. What if this changes everything? She meets my gaze, her expression softening. Then you deal with it like you always do, one step at a time, girl. I nod, taking a deep breath. Whatever tomorrow brings, I'll face it head on. It's what Marcus would have wanted. It's what I need to do. I thought I was getting a fake marriage, but I didn't know my story was being told by Miss Tyla.
This isn't just any fake marriage, now is it?
No, you introduced me to the devil.
Come on, girl, Jacob isn't that bad.
Oh, I love Jacob. His family, on the other hand?
Beggars can't be choosers, Nyla. You should be grateful I even let Jacob Stone look your way.
I just wanted to save my granddaddy. Is that so bad? Why couldn't you let this be a normal fake marriage? Instead, you put me in a twisty story filled with money, betrayal, power, and lies.
Let's not forget love.
That's what keeps me going. But not gonna lie, Miss Tyla. This story you got me in ain't the simple fake marriage, happy ending I thought it would be.
It's not. Because where would be the fun in that?
Treat yourself to Say Less I Love You. Tuesdays and Thursdays. New seasons premiere every month. Or skip the wait and grab the full series bundle from TylaWalker.com for 50% off. Treat yourself with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 74. Jacob. I step into the opulent office, the scent of leather and old money assaulting my senses. The room's filled with familiar faces, all wearing masks of grief. Some more convincing than others. Trixa's eyes are red-rimmed, her usual composure cracked. Nyla stands off to the side, looking lost and out of place. "Let's get this over with," I mutter, taking a seat. The lawyer, a pinstriped penguin with a voice like sandpaper, clears his throat. "We're gathered here today to read the last will and testament of Marcus Swan." I tune out as he drones on, listing off properties and assets. It's all going to Trixa, of course. She's nodding along, dabbing at her eyes with a monogrammed handkerchief. "And to Jacob Stone," the lawyer's voice cuts through my thoughts. Mr. Swan leaves his personal collection of poetry with a note that reads, "For the man who understood their worth." A worn, leather-bound book is placed in my hands, its weight familiar yet suddenly heavy with meaning. I run my fingers over the embossed cover, tracing the intricate designs that Marcus and I had admired countless times. Memories flood back, late nights in his study, the air thick with cigar smoke, discussing Yeats and Frost until the sky began to lighten. "Thank you," I managed to say, my throat tight with an emotion I refused to name. Damn, I didn't expect this to hit me so hard. Trixa leans over, her perfume so strong it makes my eyes water. "How sweet," she coos, her voice dripping with false sentiment. "He always said you had a poet's soul, Jacob." I force a smile, gritting my teeth behind the facade. "Did he now?" I mutter, but my eyes drift to Nyla. She's staring at the book in my hands, her expression unreadable. The lawyer drones on, his voice fading into background noise as I'm lost in a whirlwind of memories. I can almost hear Marcus's booming laugh, see him alive and vibrant, glass of brandy in hand as he quotes Whitman with passion. "I sound my barbaric yawp over the roofs of the world," he'd declare, eyes twinkling. Now he's gone, that larger-than-life presence reduced to ashes and memories. All that's left is this book and a room full of vultures picking over the bones of his legacy. I tighten my grip on the poetry collection, suddenly fiercely protective of this final gift. I watch as the lawyer hands out Marcus's personal effects, each item carrying a weight of memory. My fingers trace the spine of the poetry book he left me, a bittersweet reminder of our shared passion. "And now, to Miss Nyla Thomas," the lawyer's voice cuts through my reverie. My head snaps up. "Nyla? What could Marcus have left her?" The lawyer continues, "Mr. Swan has bequeathed to you the key to a safety deposit box." Nyla's eyes widen, her lips parting in surprise. "A safety deposit box?" "Yes," the lawyer nods. "The contents are not disclosed in the will. Mr. Swan explicitly stated that they are for your eyes only." I lean forward, intrigued. What could Marcus have left for Nyla that he wanted to keep secret from the rest of us? "You are to be the sole owner of whatever is inside," the lawyer explains. "You may open the box at a time and place of your choosing. Mr. Swan advises you to consult with his attorneys when you decide to do so." I catch her eye, and for a moment we share a look of mutual confusion. What game was Marcus playing? Trixa's voice, sharp with barely concealed jealousy, breaks the silence. "Well, isn't that interesting? I wonder what Daddy Dearest would bother leaving to you." Nyla bristles. "I have no idea. I barely knew him." "Clearly he knew you," I mutter, unable to help myself. The tension in the room is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Everyone's eyes are glued to Nyla. I can't help but wonder what the hell Marcus was thinking. What secrets did that old bastard take to his grave? And why the hell did he entrust them to Nyla of all people? As the meeting finally adjourns, I keep my gaze fixed on Nyla. Her face is a mask of confusion and apprehension, and I'd bet my last dollar she's just as clueless about this whole situation as the rest of us. I run a hand through my hair, frustrated. Whatever is in that safety deposit box, I have a gut feeling it's going to turn our world upside down. And in my experience, change is rarely a good thing in this cutthroat business. Dam's about to hit the fan, and I need to be ready for it.
Chapter 75. Nyla. As those of us present for Marcus's will reading begin to file out of the room, a tall figure cuts through the sea of somber faces. It's the same attorney from Marcus's funeral, his tailored suit hugging his athletic frame in all the right places. My breath catches as he approaches, hand extended. I can't help but notice how his confident stride commands attention, making my heart skip a beat. His piercing eyes lock onto mine, and for a moment I forget where I am. I swallow hard, trying to compose myself as he gets closer. Damn, why does he have to look so good at a time like this? Miss Thomas, Kevin Shaw, I'm one of the lead attorneys on Marcus Swan's estate. His grip is firm, warm, and electrifying. I find myself holding on a beat too long, my fingers tingling from the contact. Damn, get it together, Nyla. Nice to meet you, Mr. Shaw. Or is it Kevin? I manage to say, hoping my voice doesn't betray the sudden flutter in my stomach. A smile plays at the corners of his mouth, transforming his already handsome face into something downright irresistible. Kevin, please, I have something for you. His deep voice sends a shiver down my spine, and I can't help but wonder what exactly he has in mind. He produces a small key, its silver surface glinting in the light. As he places it in my palm, our fingers brush. A jolt of electricity races up my arm, sending tingles through my entire body. I can't help but notice how warm and strong his hand feels against mine. When you're ready to open that safety deposit box, I'll be there to assist, Kevin says, his voice low and reassuring. Take your time, though. Process your grief. Come to terms with everything that's happened. There's no rush. I nod, rolling the key between my fingers, feeling its weight and coolness against my skin. My mind races with possibilities of what could be inside. How much do you know about what's in there? I ask, trying to keep my voice steady despite the mix of curiosity and apprehension swirling inside me. Kevin shakes his head. I'm as in the dark as you are. But whatever it is, Marcus wanted you to have it. He spoke highly of you, you know. Really? My voice cracks and I clear my throat, trying to mask my surprise. I barely knew him. We only crossed paths a handful of times at the hospital. He had a way of seeing people's potential, Kevin says, his eyes locking with mine. For a moment, I forget to breathe, caught in the intensity of his gaze. My heart skips a beat, and I have to remind myself to focus on his words, not the way his lips move as he speaks. Like this one time, he bet me I couldn't beat him at chess. Turns out he was a grandmaster, but instead of gloating, he spent hours teaching me strategies. I can't help but smile at that, imagining the scene. That sounds just like him, always teaching, always pushing people to be better. I pause, twirling the key between my fingers. I wonder what potential he saw in me. Kevin leans in slightly, his voice dropping to a low, intimate tone that sends shivers down my spine. I'm sure he saw what anyone would see. Someone extraordinary. His eyes lock onto mine, intense and unwavering, making my breath catch in my throat. I can't help but laugh, a genuine smile spreading across my face. Sounds like Marcus had a few tricks up his sleeve. I'm starting to think he was some kind of mastermind. I shake my head, still grinning. But seriously, a chess grandmaster? That man was full of surprises. I fidget with the key again, suddenly aware of how close Kevin is sitting. I wonder what other secrets he was hiding. More than a few, Kevin agrees, his smile widening, revealing perfect white teeth. I swear, every time I thought I had him figured out, he'd pull another rabbit out of his hat. He leans in closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. Listen, when you're ready to open that box, give me a call, day or night. I mean it. He slips me his business card, his fingers lingering on mine just a second longer than necessary. The touch sends a jolt of electricity through my body, and I have to resist the urge to shiver. From the corner of my eye, I catch Jacob watching us, his jaw clenched tight enough to crack walnuts. But for once, I don't give a damn what he thinks. I'm too caught up in Kevin's intense gaze and the warmth of his hand on mine. I might just take you up on that, I say, tucking the card into my purse with trembling fingers. My heart's racing a mile a minute, and I can't help but wonder if Kevin can hear it too. I try to play it cool, but damn, this man's got me all kinds of flustered. Thanks, Kevin. I appreciate the offer. For everything. Like I said, he says, his voice low and husky, I'm here. For whatever you need. The way he emphasizes whatever sends a shiver down my spine. Whatever? I ask, a coy smile playing on my lips. I can't help but lean in a little closer, drawn to his magnetic presence like a moth to a flame. The air between us feels charged, electric, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. That's quite an offer, Mr. Shaw. You sure you know what you're getting yourself into? My voice comes out huskier than I intended, and I have to resist the urge to clear my throat. I think I've got a good idea, he says, but I'm dying to see if I'm right. Damn, this man has me acting like a schoolgirl with her first crush. I try to play it cool, but my heart's pounding so hard I swear he must be able to hear it. As Kevin walks away, I can't help but feel a spark of something I haven't felt in a long time. Hope, maybe, or possibility. Whatever it is, it's a welcome change from the chaos of the past few weeks.
Chapter 76, Trixa. I sit in the lawyer's office, the leather chair cool against my skin, but I barely notice. These offices are all the same. The words from the will reading echo in my head, a hollow victory amidst the crushing grief. Ms. Swan, you've inherited your father's board seat and a substantial sum of money, the lawyer drones on, but I can't focus. I know I'm here to get advice from Daddy's lawyers on how best to ascend to my father's seat on the board and how to handle the money I've inherited. But for the first time, I don't care about any of that. I'd give it all back for just one more second. Great, I mutter, my voice lacking its usual enthusiasm. Daddy always said I'd make a killer board member. The lawyer shifts uncomfortably. There's more, Ms. Swan. Your father left a letter for you. He hands me an envelope, and my hands shake as I open it. Daddy's familiar scrawl greets me, and tears blur my vision. Trixa, my darling girl, I read aloud, my voice cracking. The words swim before my eyes, and I have to blink rapidly to clear my vision. I know you'll make me proud. Remember, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a yacht big enough to sail right up to it. A watery laugh escapes me, surprising even myself. It's so quintessentially Daddy, always with the quips, even from beyond the grave. Oh, Daddy, I whisper, running my fingers over his familiar handwriting. For a moment, I can almost hear his booming laugh, smell his expensive cologne. The ache in my chest intensifies, a bittersweet reminder of all I've lost. I clutch the letter closer, as if I could somehow hold on to him through these final words. He was quite the character, the lawyer offers awkwardly. I nod, wiping my eyes. He was everything to me. After Mom died, it was just us against the world. I'm sure he'd be proud of you taking his place on the board. Would he? I ask, suddenly uncertain. I always thought he saw me as his little princess, not a businesswoman. The lawyer's expression softens. Miss Swan, if I may, your father often spoke of your potential. He believed in you. I clutch the letter to my chest, feeling the weight of expectation and loss. I just wish he was here to see it. As I step out of the stuffy lawyer's office, the New York sky hits me like a ton of bricks. It's gray and oppressive, matching my mood perfectly. I clutch my designer purse closer, feeling lost in a sea of suits and briefcases rushing by. I should be on top of the world right now. I'm richer than I've ever been, more powerful than I could have imagined. The Swan Empire is mine to command. But instead of feeling like a queen, I just feel empty. Daddy's gone, and all the money in the world can't bring him back. His booming laugh, the way he'd ruffle my hair even when I was way too old for it, how he always knew exactly what to say to cheer me up, it's all gone. Forever. I flagged down a taxi, suddenly desperate to get away from the corporate jungle. As I slide into the back seat, I realize I have no idea where to go. Home to my penthouse? To a bar to drown my sorrows? Nowhere feels right anymore.
Chapter 77. Nyla. I step into Kevin's office, my heart racing with a mix of anticipation and nervousness. The sleek, modern space screams success, much like the man himself. Kevin rises from behind his desk, his tailored suit accentuating his muscular frame. "Nyla, glad you could make it," he says, flashing a smile that could melt ice. "Thanks for seeing me, Kevin." I take a seat, crossing my legs and noticing how his eyes follow the movement. He clears his throat. "So let's go over the paperwork you received." He pulls out a file. The key item here is the safety deposit box key. It's at First Republic Bank on 51st and Park Avenue. I lean forward, genuinely curious. Any idea what's inside? Kevin shakes his head. "Sorry, that's for your eyes only, but I can walk you through the process of accessing it if you'd like." As he explains the details, I can't help but notice the way his eyes keep darting to my lips, my neck, my hands. The air between us crackles with tension. "You know," Kevin says, his voice dropping lower, "I could accompany you to the bank if you want." The air in the room seems to thicken, and I can't ignore the subtle shift in Kevin's demeanor. He leans in, his body language speaking volumes, even though his words are careful, measured. His gaze lingers on my lips, then drifts lower, setting my nerves alight with a spark of something I can't quite define. I swear the space between us crackles with an energy that's both thrilling and disconcerting. I inhale discreetly, drawing in the scent of his cologne, a rich, earthy aroma that's as intoxicating as it is distracting. It's like a magnetic pull, urging me to close the gap, to feel the warmth of his skin against mine. My hands, resting in my lap, betray me with a betraying twitch, yearning to explore the contours of his chest, the strength in his arms. But I resist, my fingers curling into a fist. I didn't come here for this, I remind myself, trying to reel in my runaway thoughts. Yet, with each breath I take, the reasons for my resistance grow hazier, lost in the depths of his penetrating gaze. Is he hard? I watch as Kevin's eyes follow my own, a knowing smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. There's no hint of embarrassment in his expression, only a bold assurance that sends a shiver down my spine. He shifts in his seat, the sound of his throat clearing, slicing through the thick tension hanging in the air between us. "So dinner?" he finally asks, his voice a low rumble that seems to resonate in the depths of my core. The question hangs there, a tantalizing invitation that I both crave and fear. Every part of me is acutely aware of the shift in our conversation, the unspoken undercurrents that threaten to sweep me away. "Dinner?" I echo, my voice barely above a whisper. I clear my throat, trying to regain some semblance of control. "I thought we were just talking." I draw in a breath, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribcage. I can't deny the pull he has on me, the way my body responds to his mere presence. But I can't let myself get lost in those deep green eyes, not when there's so much going on already. Kevin leans back in his chair, his gaze never leaving mine. "We can do both, can't we?" he proposes, his tone suggesting that he's not just talking about food. "Unless you're afraid you won't be able to resist me once we're alone." His words are a challenge, a dare that sends a thrill through me, I clench my fists in my lap, my nails digging into my palms as I struggle to maintain my composure. I want to rise to his bait, to prove to him and to myself that I'm not as affected by him as he thinks. But I know that stepping into the fire with Kevin could mean getting burned, and I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of heat. Not so soon. I raise an eyebrow, playing along. Is that part of your legal services? He chuckles. Consider it a personal touch. I can't deny the chemistry between us, and I find myself intrigued by this bold, successful man. But I can't shake the feeling that there's more to him than meets the eye. Looks like some part of you is excited by this prospect, I say, pointedly not looking at the tent in his pants. I like what I see, Miss Thomas. He leans back in his chair, completely at ease. And I think you feel the same. His honesty is refreshing, and I feel a spark of excitement I haven't felt in a long time. I'm not sure what to make of Kevin's offer. Dinner, not just a professional courtesy. His eyes, a deep green, seem to see right through me, and his smile, confident yet not arrogant, is genuinely disarming. I can't deny the pull I feel, the electric charge in the air that makes my skin tingle in a way it hasn't in a long time. You know what? I find myself saying, my voice steady despite the fluttering in my chest. Dinner sounds great. He looks pleasantly surprised, as if he expected me to play hard to get. Really? Yes, really. I stand up, smoothing down my skirt. But don't get too cocky. I'm just hungry. Kevin laughs, a rich, warm sound that fills the room. I'll keep that in mind. I'll make a reservation and text you the details. As I walk toward the door, I glance back at him. You better not be one of those guys who orders for the lady. He raises his hands in a mock surrender. Wouldn't dream of it. I like women who speak for themselves. I can't help but chuckle. Good to know. I'll see you then. Stepping out of Kevin's office, I feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. The last thing I expected when I walked in here was to walk out with a date. But there's something about Kevin that intrigues me. He's not Jacob, and he doesn't carry the same baggage. He's a fresh start. A chance to explore something new without the weight of my past hanging over me. The city buzzes around me as I make my way back to my apartment. The honking of cars, the chatter of people on the street, the smell of street food. It's all a reminder that life goes on, regardless of the turmoil in my own world. I find comfort in the chaos, the anonymity of being just another face in the crowd. When I get home, I kick off my shoes and flop down on the couch, my mind racing with thoughts of Kevin. He's attractive, successful, and seems genuinely interested in me, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm stepping into unknown territory. After everything that's happened with Jacob, I'm wary of getting involved with someone else, especially someone who's so closely tied to Marcus's estate. I grab my phone and pull up Lori's number. She's always been my sounding board, the one person who knows me inside and out. Hey girl, Lori answers, her voice bright. What's up? You're never going to believe what just happened, I say, the words tumbling out of me. Ooh, do tell. I recount the events of the afternoon, from Kevin's flirtatious banter to his invitation to dinner. Lori listens, interjecting with the occasional gasp or laugh. Nyla, this is huge, she exclaims when I finish. Kevin Shaw sounds smoking hot, and he's into you. You deserve some fun after everything with Jacob. I chew on my lower lip, contemplating her words. I know, but it's all so sudden. I just met the guy. Sometimes the best things in life happen when you least expect them, Lori says, her tone reassuring. Just go with it, have a good time, and see where things lead. No pressure. I nod, even though she can't see me. You're right. I need to start living my life again, and Kevin might just be the person to help me do that.
You won't know what hit you, baby. I'm going to take you, break you, and make you mine. And when I'm done, you're...
Now hold on just a minute.
What?
I got something to say.
What's the meaning of this?
Now you may be some fine-looking white boy,
Got that right, baby. It takes hard work.
and you might got the money,
Fat stacks, baby, to spoil you with.
but that doesn't mean I'm going to give it up to you without a fight.
A fight?
You want some limp wilting flowers? Go to historical romance, baby. But you want sassy and spicy strong black queens that tame their alpha male bad boys?
I think our listeners do.
Then you go on and look at Miss Tyla's Bougie Brides and Billionaires audio bundle.
50 hours of me whispering the most romantic things in your ears. Fake marriages, alpha male billionaires, strong black women, steamy scenes that will make your eyes roll back. And everything wrapped up in a happily ever after that will put you in an afterglow.
Use code SAVE40 to get 40% off this bundle and any other digital product in Miss Tyla's store.
Unabridged and uncut.
Just like you,
You're gonna have to find out.
Tyla Walker Romances. Escape your life with sassy romance.
Chapter 78. Jacob. I step into the boardroom, the tension thick enough to cut with a scalpel. The murmurs die down as I take my seat at the head of the table. Faces turn to me, a mix of curiosity and concern etched across their features. All right, let's cut the nonsense, I say, my voice steady despite the churning in my gut. I know there's been talk about Neuromax, about ownership. A collective intake of breath ripples through the room. I lock eyes with each board member in turn, daring them to speak first. Finally, Jonathan Cole breaks the silence. Jacob, is it true? Does Stone Hospital Group not own the full rights to Neuromax? I lean back in my chair, fingers steepled under my chin. You want the truth? Fine. We don't own 100% of the formulations. The room erupts in a cacophony of voices. I raise my hand, silencing them with a look. That's part of why the trials have been underperforming. There's a critical component we don't have rights to. How could this happen? Trixie demands, her eyes blazing. Who dropped the ball on this? I shake my head. It's not about dropping balls. It's about piecing together a complex puzzle. Derek and I are working our asses off to track down the owner of this missing piece. And who exactly is that? My mother interjects, her voice dripping with disdain. That's the kicker, I reply, a humorless laugh escaping my lips. We have an idea, but we don't know. Yet. The room falls silent, the weight of this revelation settling over us like a shroud. So what now? Jonathan asks, his voice barely above a whisper. I stand, planting my hands on the table. Now? We double down. We find the owner. We negotiate. We do whatever it takes to secure that final piece of Neuromax. This isn't just about profits anymore. It's about the future of Stone Hospital Group. I stand before the board, my jaw clenched as I meet their incredulous stares. The tension in the room is palpable, a suffocating weight pressing down on all of us. This is unacceptable, my mother snaps. How could we let this slip through our fingers? I bite back a retort. We didn't let anything slip. This was buried deep. But now that we know, we're doing everything in our power to fix it. The room falls silent, the gravity of the situation sinking in. After the meeting, Derek and I head straight to Marcus's office. We tear through every drawer, every file, searching for any scrap of information about Neuromax. Nothing, Derek mutters, slamming a drawer shut. It's like he wiped everything clean. I nod, my frustration mounting. Let's check his hard drive. Hours pass as we comb through Marcus's digital footprint. But it's a dead end. No files, no emails, nothing that even hints at Neuromax. Damn, I growl, pushing away from the computer. How the hell did he keep this so quiet? Derek shakes his head. I don't know, man. But if Marcus knew something, he took it to his grave. We spend the next few days talking to everyone who was close to Marcus. His secretary, his golf buddies, even his favorite bartender. But it's all the same story. No one knows anything about Neuromax or any secret formulations. Finally, I corner Trixa after a charity event. Trixa, I need to ask you something about your father. She looks at me, her eyes guarded. What is it? Did Marcus ever mention anything to you about Neuromax? Any formulations he might have owned? Trixa's brow furrows. No, never. Why? I study her face, searching for any sign of deception. But there's nothing. Just confusion and a hint of concern. It's nothing, I lie. Just tying up some loose ends. As I walk away, the weight of our predicament settles on my shoulders. If even Trixa doesn't know, we're truly in the dark. And time is running out. I pace the length of my office, the city lights twinkling beyond the floor-to-ceiling windows. My reflection stares back at me, haggard and desperate. The weight of Stone Hospital Group's future presses down on my shoulders, threatening to crush me. Derek's voice cuts through my spiraling thoughts. Jacob, we've hit a wall. Every lead's gone cold. I turn to face him, my jaw clenched. Not every lead. There's still one person we haven't talked to. Who? Derek leans forward, hope flickering in his eyes. Nyla, I say, the name catching in my throat. Her grandfather's on the Neuromax trial, and Marcus connected with her before he died. She might know something. Derek raises an eyebrow. You sure that's a good idea? Given your history? What choice do we have? I run a hand through my hair, frustration bubbling up. If she has any information, we need it. The company's on the line. All right, Derek nods, but tread carefully. This could backfire spectacularly. I grab my jacket, determination setting in. I'll talk to her first thing tomorrow. We're running out of time and I'm out of options. As I head for the door, Derek calls out, Jacob, wait. What if she doesn't want to help? I pause, my hand on the doorknob. Then I'll have to convince her. One way or another, I'm getting that information. The door clicks shut behind me, leaving Derek alone in the dimly lit office. Tomorrow I'll face Nyla and hopefully unravel this mess before it's too late.
Chapter 79. Nyla. I stand in front of the mirror, smoothing down the front of my dress. The fabric clings to my curves, and I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and apprehension. Zara and Lori lounge on my bed, wine glasses in hand, their eyes following my every move. Damn, girl, Zara whistles, her eyes roaming appreciatively over my figure. Kevin's not gonna know what hit him. You're gonna knock his socks off. I force a smile, but my mind wanders to Jacob. The wound is still fresh, like a barely scabbed over cut. And I can't shake the feeling that I'm betraying something by going out with Kevin. It's ridiculous, I know. Jacob made his choice, but still, the guilt gnaws at me. Lori must sense my hesitation because she leans forward, her eyes soft with concern. You okay, Neela? You look like you're a million miles away. Yeah, just nervous, I guess, I admit, fiddling with the hem of my dress. Zara snorts, taking a swig of her wine. What's there to be nervous about? You're hot, he's hot, it's simple math. You two are gonna set the damn place on fire. Exactly, Lori chirps, nodding enthusiastically. It's just dinner, not a marriage proposal. If things work out, Zara continues, a mischievous glint in her eye. I might have to dust off my stripper heels for another bachelor party, though hopefully this time the groom won't be such an ass. The words hit me like a punch to the gut, bringing back memories I'd rather forget. I try to laugh it off, but the sound comes out hollow, more like a choke than actual amusement. My friends exchange a look, and I know I'm not fooling anyone. Zara, oblivious to my discomfort, plows on. I told you Jacob was bad news. Remember how quickly he dropped you for Trixa? I was right about him all along. Is that why you were at his bachelor party? I ask, unable to keep the edge out of my voice. Damn straight, Zara nods. Someone had to show him for what he really was. I turn back to the mirror, blinking rapidly to keep the tears at bay. Despite everything, a part of me still loves Jacob. The speed at which everything fell apart leaves me reeling, searching for answers I'm not sure I'll ever find. Lori's words cut through my thoughts like a hot knife through butter. Hun, remember how you were ready to forgive Jacob for sleeping with Trixa? And what did he do? He still chose her over you. I wince, the memory still raw. I know, but... No buts. Lori interrupts, her tone gentle but firm. You're a strong woman, Nyla. You deserve someone who'll choose you first, last and always. Someone like Kevin. Zara nods enthusiastically. A millionaire lawyer? Girl, that's an upgrade if I've ever seen one. I can't help but laugh, despite the ache in my chest. You two are impossible. Impossibly right, Zara quips, jumping off the bed. Now let's talk lingerie. You need something that'll knock his socks off. My eyes widen. Isn't that a bit presumptuous? My heart skips a beat as Lori, with a mischievous glint in her eye, starts to riffle through my dresser drawers. It's called being prepared, sweetie. She tosses over her shoulder, her voice laced with amusement. Besides, the right underwear can be a confidence booster. I roll my eyes, but can't help the smile tugging at my lips. Lori's always been the one to push me out of my comfort zone, and right now, she's on a mission. Ooh, what about this? Zara's voice is a high-pitched squeal of excitement as she pulls out a lacy black bra and thong from the depths of my underwear collection. It's a piece I'd splurged on during a moment of boldness, only to tuck it away, forgotten until now. Zara holds it up against herself, modeling it with a playful wiggle. This is perfect, Nyla. It screams sexy, confident woman, which is exactly the vibe you want to give off. I can feel embarrassment creeping up my neck, but I refuse to let it show. Instead, I muster up my best attempt at nonchalance. You two do realize that I'm not even sure if anything is going to happen, right? Lori just winks at me, a knowing smile on her lips. That's the beauty of being prepared, Nyla. You're not leaving anything to chance. As I watch them, my heart doing a little dance in my chest, I can't help but feel a surge of gratitude for these incredible women in my life. They're the kind of friends who'll dig through your most intimate items without a second thought, all in the name of love and lingerie. I feel my face heat up. That's a bit much, isn't it? It's perfect, Lori declares, snatching it from Zara. Pair it with those stockings we got you for Christmas, and Kevin won't know what hit him. As they continue to raid my underwear drawer, I can't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. Maybe they're right. Maybe it's time to move on, to embrace this new chapter. Fine, I concede, taking the lingerie from Lori. But if this backfires, I'm blaming you both. Zara winks, raising her wine glass in a toast. Trust me, the only thing backfiring tonight will be Kevin's brain when he sees you in that. I put the finishing touches on my makeup, and I can't help but wonder if stepping away from the chaos of the past few months will help me gain some much-needed perspective. Kevin is interested, uncomplicated, and most importantly, not Jacob Stone. I glance at my phone and my heart skips a beat. Damn, it's almost 7, I exclaim, my eyes widening. Kevin's gonna be here any minute? Zara lounges on my bed, wine glass dangling precariously from her fingers. Ooh, getting nervous, are we? She teases, a smirk playing on her lips. "Come on, you two," I say, trying to usher them out of my bedroom. "You gotta go, now." Lori giggles, stumbling a bit as she stands. "Aw, but we want to meet your hot lawyer." "Not tonight, you don't," I insist, practically pushing them towards the door. "I don't need you embarrassing me before the date even starts." Zara waggles her eyebrows suggestively. Fine. We'll leave you to your preparations." "Just remember," Lori chimes in, her voice dropping to a stage whisper, "if you need any tips on how to—" "Out," I interrupt, feeling my face heat up. "Both of you, out!" They stumble out of my room, laughing and whispering between themselves. I follow them to the front door, my nerves jangling with every step. "Good luck," Zara calls over her shoulder as they step into the hallway. "Not that you'll need it with that lingerie." I shut the door behind them, leaning against it with a sigh. The apartment feels suddenly quiet, almost oppressively so. I can hear my own heartbeat, rapid and unsteady. With my track record, I mutter to myself, I'm gonna need all the luck I can get.
This is it, baby. This is what you can get me that'll make me happy.
You know I'll get you whatever you want. All you need to do is ask me and I'll give it to you.
This ain't just it. This is everything I could ever want.
Now I'm curious. What does a strong, sassy woman like yourself want so badly?
Baby, you know what I want?
I can't wait to hear.
The Big Baddie bundle from Tyla Walker. It has everything I need.
20 ebooks with over 1 million words of sassy romance and spice that'll keep you on your toes.
10 audiobooks containing over 60 hours of that seductive voice telling me naughty things all night long.
You don't need an audiobook for that, baby. Right here.
You may be fine and all, but no one tells it like the way Miss Tyla does. And I need her in my life.
The Big Baddie bundle is everything you need. You can get it for 80% off.
Go to TylaWalker.com to browse the bundles that earn you the best deals.
It's time you treat yourself. Because you deserve it.
Escape your life with Miss Tyla.
Chapter 80, Nyla. A knock at my apartment door sends a jolt through me. I take a deep breath, smooth down my dress, and open it. Kevin stands there, looking like he stepped out of a fashion magazine. His tan chinos and crisp white shirt hug his athletic frame perfectly. My eyes travel up to his chiseled jawline, sun-kissed skin, and piercing blue eyes that crinkle at the corners as he smiles. "Ready for dinner?" he asks, his voice smooth as honey. "Yes," I reply lamely, grabbing my purse. When I turn around, bending to reach toward where my purse sits on the stand, I swear I hear him mutter something like Jesus Christ. But when I turn around, he's adjusting his collar, staring down the hall. We head down to his car, a sleek black Audi that probably costs more than I make in a year. As we drive, I can't help but steal glances at his strong hands on the steering wheel. At the restaurant, a cozy Italian place with soft lighting and the aroma of garlic and herbs in the air, we settle into our seats. The waiter pours us each a glass of red wine. "So, Nyla," Kevin says, leaning in slightly, "tell me something about yourself that's not in one of those ridiculous articles." "I don't know," I laugh. "They're pretty thorough." "There must be something," he insists, leaning back nonchalantly. I take a moment to think before blurting out, "I can touch my nose with my tongue. Want to see?" He chuckles, his eyes sparkling. "I'll take your word for it. For now." Those striking green eyes drop to my lips, and I can't help it when my tongue darts out to wet them in anticipation. As we chat, I'm struck by how easy it is to talk to him. There's no pressure, no complicated history, just two people getting to know each other. "What made you want to become a lawyer?" I ask, genuinely curious. Kevin grins. Would you believe me if I said legally blonde? I nearly choke on my wine. No way. Okay. You got me, he admits. But I did watch it to prepare for law school. You know, for the fashion tips. We both burst out laughing. As our laughter subsides, I realize I haven't thought about Jacob or any of the drama surrounding him all evening. It's refreshing, like coming up for air after being underwater for too long. As Kevin and I finish our main course, I can't help but marvel at his confidence. It's not just in the way he carries himself, but in how he speaks, how he looks at me. It's intoxicating. What's the craziest thing you've ever done? He prompts, a glint of mischief in his gaze. I laugh, feeling a warmth spread through me that has nothing to do with the wine. Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty boring. I doubt that, he replies, his eyes twinkling. I bite my lip, considering. Okay, fine. I once snuck into a hospital supply closet and filled my friend's locker with tongue depressors. Kevin raises an eyebrow. How many are we talking? Let's just say she was finding them in her stuff for weeks. I grin. He throws his head back and laughs, a rich, deep sound that makes my stomach flutter. I knew you had a wild side. Oh, yeah? I challenge, feeling bolder than I have in months. What about you, Mr. Hotshot Lawyer? What's your craziest moment? Kevin leans in even closer, his voice dropping to a husky whisper. I once argued a case in court wearing SpongeBob boxers under my suit. I gasp, scandalized and delighted. You didn't? Did, he nods solemnly. It was laundry day and I had a choice between those or going commando. Oh, God, help me. I'm laughing so hard I have to put down my wine glass. Please tell me you won the case. Of course. He winks. The judge couldn't resist my underwater charm. As our laughter subsides, I realize how at ease I feel. There's no expectations, no complicated history weighing us down. It's just fun. Kevin reaches across the table, his fingers brushing mine. You have a beautiful laugh, you know that? I feel a spark at his touch, my breath catching. With a devilish smirk, Kevin signals for the check, and when it arrives, he doesn't even glance at the total before sliding his credit card into the leather folder. I catch a glimpse of the tip he scrawls. It's more than generous. Ready to head out? He asks, standing and offering me his hand. I take it, feeling a little thrill at his touch. Lead the way. As we step outside, the cool night air hits my skin, and I shiver slightly. Kevin notices immediately. Cold? He asks, moving closer. Just a little, I admit. He steps behind me, his hands running up and down my arms to warm them. The gesture is simple but intimate, and I feel my breath catch. The valet hurries off to retrieve Kevin's car, leaving us alone on the sidewalk. Kevin moves to face me, his eyes roaming my face. You know, he says, his voice low and teasing. I've been wanting to do this all night. Before I can ask what he means, he reaches out and gently tugs on a strand of hair that's fallen in front of my face. His fingers brush my cheek as he tucks it behind my ear. There, he murmurs. Perfect. I swallow hard, very aware of how close he is. I don't know about perfect, I manage to say. My hair has a mind of its own. Kevin grins. I like a woman who can't be tamed. Oh yeah? I challenge, feeling bold. And what would you do if you caught one? His eyes darken. I have a few ideas. The tension between us is electric. I'm about to respond when the valet pulls up with Kevin's car, breaking the moment. Kevin opens the passenger door for me. Shall we? I slide in, my heart racing. As he walks around to the driver's side, I take a deep breath. As he gets into the driver's seat, I can't help but admire how his muscles flex beneath his crisp white shirt. The fabric stretches taut across his broad shoulders and chest as he reaches for the steering wheel. His forearms, tanned and toned, are exposed where he's rolled up his sleeves. The engine purrs to life as he turns the key, and he flashes me a grin that makes my heart race. "Ready for the ride of your life?" he asks, his voice low and playful. I laugh, trying to hide how affected I am. "It's just a car ride, Kevin." "Oh, I wouldn't be so sure about that," he winks, pulling out onto the street. The drive back to my apartment is far too short. Before I know it, we're parked outside my building. Kevin insists on walking me to my door, his hand resting lightly on the small of my back as we climb the stairs. At my doorstep, I turn to face him, suddenly aware of how close we are. His cologne, a heady mix of sandalwood and something uniquely him, fills my senses. I look up, meeting his intense gaze. "I had a great time tonight," I say, my voice barely above a whisper. "Me too," he murmurs, his eyes dropping to my lips. The tension between us is electric. Unable to resist any longer, I lean in and press my lips to his. Kevin responds immediately, one hand cupping my face while the other pulls me closer. His lips are soft but insistent, and I melt into the kiss, my hands gripping his shirt. When we finally break apart, we're both breathless. Kevin rests his forehead against mine, his thumb tracing my cheekbone. "I think," he breathes. "I think you should invite me inside." I nod, chest heaving. "Kevin?" "Yes, Nyla? I want you to come inside."
Chapter 81, Kevin.
Looks like the level of passion in this chapter is pushing YouTube's limit.
It's disappointing, I know. Trust me when I say we want nothing more than to get down to the dirty details.
But releasing these free audiobooks on YouTube means that we have to abide by the rules.
Even though YouTube won't allow us to put something so spicy on the air, you can still find it on TylaWalker.com.
Miss Tyla has an unbelievable collection of uncut, unabridged audiobooks and ebooks.
For access to the full, unfiltered scene, go to TylaWalker.com and use code SAVE40 for 40% off any digital product.
This is the deal of a lifetime, a discount that can be applied to bundles that are already listed at a discounted price.
You heard that right. It's time for you to treat yourself.
With Miss Tyla.
Chapter 82. Jacob. I wake up with a jolt, my heart racing with an inexplicable excitement. The world seems brighter, more vivid. Nyla's face flashes in my mind, and I can't help but grin. I've got to see her. Jumping out of bed, I quickly shower and dress. As I grab my keys, a plan forms. I'll surprise her with breakfast. I know that it's supposed to be for business, to figure out her connection to Marcus, but it just feels like an excuse to finally be alone with her. I haven't had a moment without someone watching us since the night we had that damn dinner. Maybe I'll finally be able to explain. "You've got this, Stone," I muttered to myself, wiping away the last traces of shaving cream. "It's just breakfast. No big deal." But it is a big deal. My heart races as I slip into my favorite charcoal suit, adjusting the Windsor knot of my tie with practiced ease. The fabric feels crisp against my skin, an armor of confidence. I pause at the door, keys jingling in my hand. Should I wait? Call first? The thought evaporates as quickly as it forms. No. Spontaneity is the spice of life. And God knows I need some spice right now. The elevator descends and I step out into the vibrant chaos of a New York morning. The city thrums with energy, matching my own electric anticipation. A gust of wind carries the rich aroma of freshly brewed coffee from a nearby cafe. As I navigate the bustling sidewalk, snippets of conversation float past. Can you believe the price of these bagels? I swear, if that subway is delayed one more time. Did you see the Knicks game last night? Absolute disaster! The familiar symphony of the city fills me with a sense of belonging, of purpose. This is my world, my kingdom. And yet all I can think about is surprising Nyla and that megawatt smile of hers. At her favorite bodega, I pick up a bouquet of sunflowers. Their bright petals remind me of Nyla's smile. Big date? The shopkeeper asks, eyeing the flowers. Something like that, I reply, unable to contain my grin. Next stop, Nyla's Go-To Diner. The bell chimes as I enter, and the familiar scent of coffee and bacon hits me. Well, if it isn't Mr. Stone, Sally, the waitress, greets me. What can I get you? Nyla's usual, please, to go. Sally nods knowingly. 1 ham, bacon, cheese, and egg croissant coming right up. Anything else? A large coffee and some fresh fruit if you've got it. As I wait, my excitement builds. I'm not just here for work talk. I'm here to see the woman I love. Sally returns with a paper bag and a to-go cup. Here you go, hon. Tell Nyla we miss her around here. Will do, Sally. Thanks. With breakfast in one hand and flowers in the other, I head out, my heart pounding with anticipation. I can't wait to see Nyla's face when she opens the door. As I navigate the crowded New York streets, my mind races with possibilities. The weight of the breakfast bag in my hand anchors me to reality, but my thoughts soar with hope. Nyla, I've been an idiot, I rehearse under my breath, dodging a hurried businessman. I should have never let you go. A couple arguing nearby catches my attention. You can't just decide things without me, the woman snaps. I thought I was doing what's best for us, the man pleads. Their words hit close to home. Isn't that exactly what I did? Deciding what's best without consulting her. I shake my head, refocusing on my mission. Hilda's rules be damned. I'll find a way around them. There's always a loophole, always a way to outmaneuver the opposition. It's what I do best. Hell, it's how I built my empire. No stuffy old rule is going to keep me from Nyla. I balance the breakfast bag, coffee and flowers precariously as I knock on Nyla's door. My heart pounds with anticipation, a foreign sensation for a man like me. This is it. The moment I set things right. I've rehearsed this 1,000 times in my head. But now that I'm here, my usual confidence wavers. The door swings open and my gut twists like I've been sucker punched. Kevin stands there, barely dressed, holding a familiar sweater over his crotch. My sweater. The one I gave Nyla. Damn. This can't be happening. Oh, hey man, Kevin says, casual as can be. Didn't expect to see you here. His nonchalance makes me want to deck him. I can't breathe. Can't think. The scent of Nyla's favorite coffee mocks me, wafting through the air like a cruel reminder of what I've lost. The flowers in my hand suddenly feel pathetic and small, wilting under the weight of my shattered expectations. My chest tightens, a vice grip of betrayal squeezing the air from my lungs. What the phew? What are you doing here? I manage to choke out, my voice a low growl of anger and disbelief. The words scrape against my throat, raw with emotion I can't contain. Kevin shrugs, adjusting the sweater with an infuriating casualness. Sorry for the surprise, man. I decided to crash here last night. Nyla's just getting out of the shower. He says it like it's no big deal, like he hasn't just stomped all over my heart. You crashed here? The words taste bitter on my tongue, each syllable dripping with venom. I want to spit them out, along with the bile rising in my throat. Yeah, we hit it off pretty well, Kevin grins, oblivious to my pain or maybe just not giving a damn. Listen, do you need something? He gestures around like he owns the place, like he belongs here. What I want to do is beat his ass for touching my... Damn. My fists clench at my sides, knuckles white with the effort of restraining myself. The urge to lash out, to make him hurt as much as I'm hurting is almost overwhelming. But I'm Jacob Stone. I don't lose control, not even when my world is crumbling around me.
Hey, fam, you know what I say? Serves Jacob right after everything he did to Nyla. He put that poor woman through so much, so maybe this is good for him. I mean, Kevin does treat Nyla like the queen that she is. You can't blame our girl for wanting to give him a shot. Talk about a breath of fresh air. Maybe I feel bad for Trixie. She's here planning her future with Jacob, and he's out there still hung up on Nyla. This is so messy, y'all, that I don't know that professional cleaners can clean this up. They'd probably just burn the whole thing down if it was a house. What do you think is gonna happen? Drop your comments and tune in next time for Say Less I Love You.